gonna call the meeting to order. We'll start out with the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, we're going to start out with the oath of office. Tim?
As Timothy Doctor of Washburn, North Dakota, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of North Dakota, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of City Commissioner according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
I, Miranda Harvey of Washburn, North Dakota, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of North Dakota, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of City Commission according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Thank you. I'm Mark Welland of Washburn, North Dakota, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of North Dakota, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of President of the Commission of Washburn according to the best of my ability, so help me God. All right. Now we're going to move on to appointments. First thing I want to do is I'm going to flip here. Can you flip? Sure. These are colors.
I'm not awkwardly looking both ways.
Yeah. All right. Chelsea, I don't know if you want to step in and help me at all, but under appointments, we have an auditor, which we have Chelsea Graham.
Yeah.
Attorney, we have David Liddell.
Correct.
Yep.
Do that first, yeah.
Right. And then is Ryan our assessor?
Yes. We contracted the county for our assessor, and that's run over.
And we'll have for vice president, I would like to nominate Steve Weber. All right. City engineer, Kurt with A2S.
Thank you, Mark, point of order. According to North Dakota Central Code, the vice president is elected by the city commission. It's not an appointment.
Right.
So if you skip through that one, you can bring that up separately and ask for nominations for vice president. I believe the Central Code still.
No, that's okay. I was kind of wondering why he was in that position myself. I thought it would be down in the.
But that is separate of an appointment.
Sure. Okay. Thanks for bringing that up, Tim. Okay, we'll come back to the vice president. Fire chief, we have Clayton Berkey. All right. Everyone agreeing on those positions? Yeah, we got A2S or Joker. All right.
So, are you making these appointments separate then from the portfolio?
Yes.
Because then by Central Code again, they are actually have to be approved by the commission by motion.
Sure.
Because in the Central Code is actually the county commission that makes appointments. So if you would have to entertain a motion in a second to accept the assignments that were proposed.
I would motion to put forward Mark's appointment, or suggestion.
I'll second that.
Any more discussion? Not hearing, we'll do a roll call vote. Yes. 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 gonna move on to portfolios. Well, we might as well start out with vice president. I believe that I would like to make a motion to nominate Jamie Weber. I think he's a good young person in Washburn that, has a lot of growth, that he's got a lot of maturity, very honest, very, open to suggestions, and he's not quick to act on subjects without not knowing all the reasons.
Yeah, if I may just mark another point of order, would actually, instead of the motion, it would be a nomination.
Okay.
You would ask for nomination for vice president. The only time you make a motion is if you're asking for unanimous vote. Yeah. So if you say you would nominate Jamie Weber,
I would nominate Jamie Weber.
and then ask if there's any other nominations.
Is there any other nomination?
I would nominate Pete Abbott.
Okay. Do you have anything to say on this?
No, I think he's shown the last couple of years, especially working with him in HR, he knows how to run a meeting very well, managed, keeps his cool, treats people with respect, does his research. I think he's run a really good meeting. So.
Is there any other nominations? Is there any other nominations? Is there any more nominations? So, not hearing any? Do we vote by ballot?
Yeah, it can't be secret though, so it has to be public. Or you can just simply ask who each person wants to vote for.
Okay. Linda?
That was the John Newsom.
Yeah.
And you can start down there if you want, because they vote too, so.
Yeah.
I vote for Keith.
I vote for Keith.
I vote for Keith.
I don't wanna vote for myself, so I guess I'll vote for Keith. So,
And I'll vote for Jamie. So. All right. Yeah, we're gonna move on. Street commissioner. I would like to nominate, Jamie Weber, the street commissioner. It doesn't affect him. Right now, he's on buildings and grounds, and because of his business, he does some work for the city, so, it would be a conflict for him to be on that portfolio, so,
So is your intent to move separate than you should?
yeah.
Okay.
So, if that's okay?
Oh, yeah, that's up to you, but I'm just asking for a point of, order. If we're moving separately on these, then I would move that we would approve, Jamie Webb as street commissioner.
second.
Any more discussion? Any more nominations?
It's not a nomination,
Or-
we're not doing nomination.
Right, sorry. Okay, Miranda? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. All right. Water and sewer commissioner. I would like to see, Tim Doctor in that position. Is there any other nominee?
Well, you would, it's an appointment.
Appointment.
You would ask for a motion or a second to approve.
Yeah, sure.
A motion for Dr. Leroy and Pearson.
I second it. Any more discussion? Any more notes? Miranda?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. It is yes. Buildings and grounds, when I was a commissioner before, I had buildings and grounds. I'm pretty familiar with all the aspects of that appointment. I thought I did a good job for 4 years under the city commission. I would like to take that portfolio again.
A motion to accept Mark as buildings and grounds.
I'll second that.
Any more discussion? Linda?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Police and fire commissioner. I would like to appoint Jamie Robert.
You already have, okay, you already have three. Yes. Portfolio,
Yeah, well, we have enough to,
but there's the five major portfolios that each person has to have one. The other ones are self,
well, we can step by that one. We can do,
but I mean, my point is, Mark, is the street commissioner, water and sewer, building, ground, police, fire, and finance. One each goes to the commissioner there. The other ones are self underneath that.
The other one's a question. Would be, myself for,
well, they're not split out that way, so. But,
I mean, you're right. It's definitely not so.
right, that's what confused me.
Yeah, I just wonder what the safety code just says.
For,
The final two include the fire and financial.
Right, but they have to go to one of the two other ones.
well, Miranda? Fire. I'd like to appoint Miranda for police and fire. Sure.
I'll second that.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. All right. Now for the other appointment, we have, financial. I'd like to appoint, Steve Happy.
Third, I got 2 years for that.
I would move that he be appointed to finance.
Second to that. Okay, any more discussion? If not? Yes. 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 Okay, airport authority,
I may also interject also, Mark, that the rest of them that aren't portfolios but are committees, and are not commissioners. But they don't have to be.
okay. But we have to,
Appointed by the.
There's 2 requests for this, for the county planning and zoning and for the city planning and zoning. That's why those 2 are included with your information.
yep. Yep. Okay, we're on the airport authority,
You want to stay on that?
I guess I've been on there. I'd like to be on the airport if possible, and if you guys want to appoint somebody else from the community.
Well, I'm really familiar with it. I just want to support you.
okay. Any more discussion?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Sorry.
And, all right, I appreciate you guys helping me out through the first week. All right, county planning and zoning. We did get a letter from Todd Schreiner.
John Simon was the current one on there, and Todd Steiner had wrote a letter, asking if John could stay on. As a city representative.
Does anybody have any?
I don't have any objections, and I know John enjoys being on there. John asked, I stay up for questions, I would do that.
The only thing that I asked if Don were to be on it, that, he would, supply notes to the meeting.
Oh, yeah. And that's fine.
Anyone else want to do it?
Anyone else want to?
I thought about it, but if you would like maybe, to lighten the load for myself. And then if he were retired, then I would probably fill into that position.
But I would move that we would appoint Don Simon so that he can continue in that work.
Do we wanna open, I mean, cause you don't have to be city commissioner to be on the rest of the airport, county, planning, forestry. You wouldn't have to be county commissioner or city commissioner to.
Correct. Well, I can tell you, like, the forest is losing one short forever.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stuff with planning and zoning. We roll through for months. But we got another opening on the library now.
Okay.
Just not that I'm saying we shouldn't, I'm just saying.
Yeah, the only thing I'm saying is, do we wanna, do we have to appoint this tonight, or, I mean, the other options open up, and see if anybody else in the community wants to be.
The only problem is that I don't think, like, forestry, library, if you're planning and zoning, both of those would be on a monthly basis. You know, so they would be running, you know, one story at least.
Yeah, I do that, it's probably a point those tonight, because, the other one's kinda going to sleep, or that sort of thing, but this is something we'll just have to prepare for this. Look kind of weird if we don't have a representative, you know what I mean?
Right.
Then we, if that was just an advertised sort of thing, then there's a business that was on for it.
I will second Terry's nomination for John Simon for county planning and zoning. Brenda?
Yes.
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 Yes. Yeah, yes. Okay, forestry, you showed some interest in possibly being,
Yeah, I'm fine with the ones I currently have, but I think that that'd be a secondary system, and I wouldn't be on library. Yeah, and I'm not really, I'm really got interest, but I would call that if it's necessary, so. I'm pretty sure.
Well, if I may make a suggestion, I'm also on forestry, and, we're already one short, and haven't been able to get even on Gibble. We have another one going off in January, retiring and wants to travel, so then we'll be two short. So, you know, I have no problem staying on, when it's going on, that would fill our place. We have 5, of course, we're gonna have to pick up another one in, a few short months. So,
okay,
I'll think about that a little bit, but yeah, but obviously I wouldn't do it as a commissioner.
Right.
So you would be the official commissioner, but
well, it's gonna be the way we want, so, and if you wanna reappoint me to forestry, you know, we still have 4. You know,
that sounds all right.
motion to appoint the doctor of course. Second half.
Any more discussion? Hearing you?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. And yes. Library, I would like to see Miranda keep that position. Interviewed her for a short amount of time, but she seems very, eager to get involved, and I think it would be a good placement for her.
we would need a motion.
So I'd like to make a motion. What? Miranda, Harvey?
Second.
Any more discussion? Miranda?
Yes.
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 Oh, sorry, yes. And yes. All right, planning and zoning.
We also have a letter from Larry Thomas. I am seeking to be reappointed to Washington Planning and Zoning Commission. I would very strongly support that, and here's the reason why, is that I'm on planning and zoning, actually not as a commissioner, I'm on there as, was appointed as a member of the community. When I became a commissioner, they got a straight down and continued to say, yeah, you should stay on there past that. We already have 2 freshman members on there that only have a couple of months under their belt. We lost 2 other members that had, one had 8 years of experience, the other one I think had even more. Planning and zoning is something that takes a lot of time to get up to speed. It really does. And, Larry has by far the most experience on there. He has done by far the most research as far as bringing us up to, not necessarily the word of code, but with the county, but it's got a tremendous amount of research. And he would be a resource that would be great to miss on there, especially with having 2 freshman members, and then to add another freshman member. So I think it's just imperative that if he's willing to serve on there, that, I would make a motion that he would be appointed to the city planning and zoning because of his experience, his expertise, and his leadership on that.
Okay. I would like to nominate myself for planning and zoning. I think I'm pretty well-rounded in the community. I've been living here for 45 years, running numerous organizations involved in the city. I've been watching the meetings, watching just everything going on.
If I make your point of order here, this is not an election,
Well,
but there's a motion on the table that was made by me. So that motion has to be seconded or die for a second, and then it has to be voted on. You can't just jump in with another number. Now if it doesn't get a second, then you can make a motion for yourself or whatever. But there is a motion on the table that has to be seconded.
But I think it should be opened up to a commissioner if one of us wanted to step into that role before we seek outside of the commission.
Okay. Well, I still have a motion on the table. So.
Yeah, the way to do that then, let it die of lack of second, and then we could move into that discussion. And that could come back up, and there's, so.
I agree with what you're
Second, I guess.
saying. I agree with what you're saying, but how do you know, if you don't know who's all running, how do you know which way to vote? Exactly.
Which is why it's a die for lack of second.
Yeah.
But this isn't an election like vice president. This is appointment, where you make a motion for appointment. You either live or die on the second. You vote it up or you vote it down. Then if you vote it down, then you have a motion for another appointment. They are 2 separate things the way they are done procedurally. These are not elections, these are appointments. When you have an election, you ask for nominations, like you do with vice president. So there is a motion on the table. The only choice you have is to let it die for a second, or.
Well, I have to disagree with you just slightly because before I had a chance to ask, you made a motion.
Correct.
Before I had a chance to nominate myself for that position.
So maybe we'll take some time to see the die for lack of second.
Right.
Okay. Is there a second? Is there a second? Is there a second?
Nope. For lack of a second.
Okay.
Well, we should never discuss Kansas.
Right.
Well, not second.
Second.
Okay. Okay. I would like to nominate myself to head up planning and zoning. Is there a second?
So we're currently on a motion and second for 2 discussions. Now we actually can discuss. So Larry, Mark, does anyone else have anyone else that would be interested in discussing for that role? Because if not, we can discuss if there is any, like, this would be better for this would be better for that, or if there is no discussion, then that's fine, and then we could move into nominating one, and then, so, I guess, for Larry, Mark, does anyone have any comments, or anything like that, we go to planning and zoning? I guess my only comments, sorry, I asked my own question, would be probably better than, her notes, Miranda, but we would be the freshman members, as we were kind of talking about, and obviously you two would be more experienced in that role, compared to us.
Have you never been on planning and zoning?
No, but I attended a number of meetings.
You haven't been to any that I've been on the last 3 years, but you still be fresh.
Sure.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is he's been involved in like city government and like that sort of stuff. He has like general ordinances and that sort of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing specific to planning and zoning, not saying it's like equal experience, but like it'd be more than, like that. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Last time I was on the commission, I was part of going back and looking at all the ordinances to update and stuff like that. So I'm pretty familiar with all the aspects of running the city and building permits and everything else, being a contractor, that and forth. I would feel comfortable in that position.
I guess, someone wants a motion to nominate one, starting back then from here, is it, has it already been?
No.
I'd make a motion for Mark Wellman.
Yeah. Is there a second? Is there a second? Can I second myself?
I don't know, you definitely could, yeah.
Okay, I'll second myself. Is there any other discussion? Not hearing any? Right?
Yes?
No?
No.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. All right, we're gonna move on to human resources. 2. I've interviewed most of you, talked about human resources to one point or another. I feel that Miranda has, I'd like to nominate Miranda. She has a lot of experience in that field. I feel more than some others. Is there any more discussion? Are there any, Miranda?
Yes.
Yes. And yes. So we need a second.
I would move.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Is there any more discussion? Is there any more, can I nominate somebody else?
No, you gotta vote on this one.
That's what I thought. Okay. Brenda?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'll say yes. Okay. Portfolios are considered. I want to thank everyone. I want to thank Larry Thomas for showing interest in staying on planning and zoning. If we ever get an opening, we'll definitely take it into consideration. All right. Going over approving the agenda. Number 12, the American Legion, said that they're not going to speak tonight before it, so, they want to be rescheduled for next month. So if you can put that on the agenda. And I have one other thing I would like to see is, I want to open up the city commission for transparency. So I want to have an open forum to allow the public to speak freely for a certain amount of time, which the commission will make a decision on that. But,
Is that just on the agenda item?
no,
You ought to see the handbook.
yeah. You're talking the guidelines book?
The fact that was put into effect with that public input is more than welcome on agenda items. But an open forum for anything and everything.
And we'll discuss that at the next meeting, and we'll go through that guideline handbook.
So you want it on this agenda or next month?
But I
Because you want to have an open forum tonight because it's
Right.
the guidelines.
want to set,
Yeah, fine, yeah.
yeah, they're not, it's just a guideline.
That was the whole idea, kind of guide us in that.
Yeah,
If you could do that, yeah, you could, as long as you're comfortable with that vote, it could be open for it, right?
I thought it was true, but the commission, but
but it's just a
not
guideline.
interested, that's it.
Yeah, the whole intention is just for a guidance. Yeah, it would never be a binding thing, just we have no authority to actually bind, you know what I mean? Like, it's a general rule for residency, that would be a violation of that technically, but then what? You know, like, it's the whole sitting commission that's been voted since then votes for it, and that's essentially,
My reason to put this on a monthly agenda is I've been aware and I've been given information that there's too many items that are brought forth to commissioners that then aren't brought forth to in commission. So this will give the public an opportunity to speak out to make sure that those words are heard by all the commissions, so things aren't held back from the community to open up to transparency. So that's my reason.
I was just personally like to see some documentation of that, because I've never as a commissioner had someone approach me that I've not been brought forth to the meeting. So I would just appreciate if that is provided.
And I definitely will at the next meeting.
I appreciate that.
All right. Does anybody else have any corrections or additions to the agenda?
I think it was just what you just said, is just trying to save community. I mean, trying to be more open if somebody wants to come say something. Within reason, maybe we should keep it to the agenda first and open it for later, but, I mean, but letting people know that they have the opportunity to come down and speak if they need to.
Yep. Well, we do say the Pledge of Allegiance. We live under the Constitution. One of the constitutional rights, freedom of speech. And I am here to make sure that we open it up to the public and allow freedom of speech.
Yeah, there's difference between limiting freedom of speech and kind of impeaching the court of meeting. I definitely know.
We're still going to have guidelines on behavior and how much time we're going to give somebody to.
Are you looking to maybe like set how long that would be now? Or see if it's approved and then set parameters for it? Or what do you kind of think?
I think that's going to take up too much of this meeting to discuss all that format right now. So I just want to unveil that so that way everyone can be a little bit more prepared, and I'll bring all my documentation to show that where there were some issues.
So would I be stepping on to approve the agenda as written then for now?
No, that'd be fine.
Okay, so
Yep.
I motion to do that.
Okay. Is there a second? Yep. Any more discussion? If not, all in favor? Yes. Thank you. All right, approve June 10th, 2024 meeting minutes. Motion to approve. Discussion, Marion, Sarah?
Yes.
Yes. And yes. Everyone had a chance to look at the financial? Yep. Okay. Somebody want to make a motion to approve?
Move to approve the financial.
Second. Sarah? Yes. Yes. And yes. All right, resolution setting auditor's bond.
Yeah, every year we have to approve the auditor's bond. I can read it here. It's for City of Watson, a total resolution of an auditor bond limit, whereas the City of Watson is covered by a blanket bond by the North Dakota State Bond Fund, and whereas the North Dakota State Bonding Fund provides fidelity bond coverage for city employees and public officials in dealing with public funds. And whereas the bond is fixed by the city governing body and set by resolution as outlined in North Dakota Census Code 40-13-02, and whereas at the July 8th regular city commission meeting of the Watson City Commission, the current bond limits were reviewed and found to be sufficient.
Now therefore be it resolved by the City Commission of the City of Washburn, North Dakota, that the auditor bond coverage by the state bonding fund in the amount of $2 million has been reviewed and found sufficient. Dated this is day of July 2024.
Would move to approve bonds for the auditor?
Any more discussion? Jeremy, Brenda?
Yes.
Yes. And yes. Authorize the bank signature. Who's on the signature card now?
Myself, Larry, and Tim. So what it has been typically in the past has been the president, the auditor, and the vice president.
So we're gonna make those changes.
Yes.
So the president, vice president, and,
Somebody want to make a motion? Yes, I have to take over some of the minutes to the bank,
I'll make that
and
motion.
that's what they use to change the names over, so.
Second.
Any more discussion? Jeremy, and
Yes.
Yes.
And yes. Washburn Light Vendor Show waiver of fees. So,
Robert?
yes, you wanna come up and speak?
I'm here to ask the commission to, if they be willing to waive the fees for the Small Business Saturday vendor show on November 30th. It will run from 10 to 3 p.m. And it's a way to support the small businesses in town.
Is it all for businesses in town, or is there any outside businesses that come there?
Mostly in town, but it's outside too, the outside too.
Don't open them.
And if we serve a meal, it will be done by a youth group that is going to do a fundraiser. So there will be no funds made by Washburn Light.
Is there any, admission fee?
No. And no charge for tables.
No charge for it.
At this moment, no charge for tables.
I'll make a motion to approve the waive that fee.
Can you, as being a member of Washburn Light?
That's a good point.
I think that's fine, but I'll make that.
Thank you for breaking that.
Well, President,
All right.
there should be a conflict.
It's a small discussion on that. We have had vendor shows where we did not waive the fees. This one specifically is not confident from the event, kind of unfair and like that. And it's for economic development, which the city should be interested in, as well as it's specifically community event, even though there's a vendor show and there's profit community, it's not the organization itself that's pushing for it.
Because the vendors make any money, but we have to pay sales tax.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So there's any money.
Thank you for bringing that to everyone. All right. So we got Miranda?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. And yes. All right. So American Legion is the other. But I just want to say that I do appreciate the American Legion for all what they've done for our community. Some of the projects that they've done, the support, is outstanding. I hope that City of Washburn can continue working with American Legion. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm gonna ask, what were they coming for?
They just want to talk about possibly some of the projects. They want to know kind of what, if we have anything, any needs or, yep, just to be supportive of the city. Alright. Yeah, then I think they had a couple members coming, and then they decided they wanted a couple more people that wanted to represent them, but they weren't able to make it, so they wanted to place out the next meeting. Just wanted to give them a shout out on the great job they're doing. All right, the second reading of ordinance 149A-1.
If there isn't any, we had the first reading, so if there isn't any objections, any, just waive the second reading and approve the rest. So I would move that we would waive the second reading and approve the changes as read. We've done that before.
All right. I'll second that.
And it's discussing note, I think, on this last meeting that we want, kind of one that estimation of a few different things in there. I know some concerns were brought up of like police dogs and that sort of thing. They would be within those bounds, like police was still at large or bars would not be their duty. But if it's their duty and there's a vice that is what's penalized here, would never be the force guidelines and not this. But
I also visited with the sheriff on those topics. So, yeah, I mean, total agreement with what he just said. All right, Miranda?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. And yes. All right, updates to Commissioner guidelines.
So this is basically helping for Erica, I'm not sure who, found that spending limits were implemented, and that's just good information to know. So that way when new commissioners come on, there's the little handbook there, and they'd be able to know exactly what it is. I was wondering that for a very long time, and still wondering if I never spent anything in my different portfolios, because they were, like, you spend big for police without even buy them something, you know what I mean? So yeah, now to be clearly laid out for those coming in, and be able to see if people are interested in 2019 spending limits were implemented. The spending limits are $0 to $500 for staff, 501 to 1500 staff, and for the auditor. That both of them can be either 1501 to 4000 president and 1 city commissioner, and 4001 and up to the full commissioner. That was 2019.
I think what these were put in for, the history of it, is the fact that if there was an emergency that came up, so that you didn't have a commissioner that was just out there rogue, saying, well, I think we should buy this, I think we should buy that. It was more on a need basis between, budgets, as far as to go back and look at the issue. So I realize that's not acceptable, I didn't have it. Not that I was seeing anyone do it, but it doesn't give us the license to go spend $1,500 at a track or something, that's what the great is going to have. Another thing too, Steve, that I thought of really interesting is on the first page where they have city commission president. I think it's first page. So we've just gone through that, but there's a June 13th, 2020 meeting there. There should also be as a reference to July 2020. And then also a century code 40-1505 should be put in there, because when it says the city commission president assigns portfolios, that actually should strap, as we've just gone through and seen, that's not his prerogative, the city commission. And he can do that, like he did, do the research and everything, see where everybody's interested, just like they've done it with that commission. But, it almost looks like that's already been given to him, but the century code is not.
Right, essentially, obviously, superseded.
So if we would just scratch assigned commission portfolios, put another reference to July 2022, and then century code 40-1505. I do that.
You'd be able to get that.
Yeah. So if we can make that clear, I just thought of it as we were going through.
No, yeah, that's great.
This is a work in progress, so we're going to continue to do that.
Yep, that's the goal for a few things. Just we're going up to see that there's for a year on it. That's a good idea.
Yeah. So we're looking for a motion to approve those things.
There was a change in the time as well, on page 4, I believe it was. It was on meeting 3 at 6:30, they almost at 6 o'clock, so I just wanted that to be reflected in there as well, for no confusion.
Yeah, this is a big one.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we're gonna play it, okay.
Somebody make a motion? Second? Any more discussion? Brenda?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. All right. Financial, municipal court report?
That's the final.
Yes, it is the final one on institution warrant in there. We have contracted with the county for all of our court stuff. We signed that, and that has gone into effect. Lawrence has his term, so this is the final annual report that we'll receive from the court judge. Kind of just a knowledge thing for you guys to see what was processed through, the year, typically when we get them, but we got them this time. Now everything that goes to court will go to district court at the courthouse instead of municipal court in the city.
For the last changes on that.
No? Yes. Impact for overtime?
Yeah, this was brought up to us at, our most recent concern meeting. In our handbook, use exact quote, or place. I'll just have an explanation what you're looking for. Basically, how it's stated is holiday count as time worked, and then that is reflected in overtime. If you go from like a strict reading of the handbook, it definitely makes sense, but it kind of makes it, in my opinion, just a little bit messy on the back end, which is why we missed it, that it should have been overtime after, let's say, someone had 35 hours and then 8 hours to like holiday. The extra 3 would then be overtime, according to our current handbook. Looking at the continues, but since that is what it specifically says, that's what it specifically says, this would be best to stand by the word. That one actually is a finding, but.
Says holidays are considered hours worked, whereas vacations typically are not. The difference, I guess, for this, how it's laid out, one time there was a holiday in there, and the hours over, and then, I went through the different rate changes. We were just going back in 2023 to current, so there were some rate changes in there. They were already paid the actual regular time, so we just do the difference between regular time to overtime, which on that second page, that is where I calculated, all the different hours and at what pay rate, that they would be receiving. So I'd have to do it as a bonus pay.
Including, terminated.
Including terminated, yes. They would receive that same benefit.
Then the hours were in there, and, just so everyone knows, we are looking at our next speaker agenda, maybe there's some alternatives with that, because personally it doesn't make sense to put in that people work and they didn't, you know what I mean, and they get overtime, but maybe a holiday pay is a better option, or just put in, just normal pay for that. We'll discuss that as we go. But for the current one, we saw our hours, and the public, if you didn't read it. It's about 20 hours of overtime for Adam, 15 for Zach, 14 for Matt, and 18. Oh, I apologize. Nope, that's scroll down. 49 for Adam, 39 for Zach, 26 for Matt, and 9 for Phil.
We need a motion for that backdate? I'll make a motion to, backdate those employees. Any more discussion? Not hearing any?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. And yes. All right. Future audit?
We are currently going through a 2-year audit. It is up really, I guess, to the commission if they want to stay on a 2-year audit or go back to a yearly audit. They were really busy last year where they had many, position audits coming in that they had to get done, so they asked if they could put back their easier clients to a 2-year audit, which then Washburn fell to a 2-year audit. So we're currently in the midst of that. They are hoping to have a audit timeline of having that all back to us. So I did ask Andrea if they would suggest staying with the 2-year audit or going back to a 1-year audit. She said that it's totally up to us. They have a new policy in place, so that this doesn't happen again where they get super backed up at the state. So I guess really kind of is the commission related to yearly audits or 2-year audits. The only thing, if we do go to a 2-year audit, we do have to have our bonding company do a bond disclosure every year, and then give that to them just to stay around all the things that we have out there. Right now, we're going through a 2-year audit, so we're being audited for 22 and 23.
But if you go back 15 years, every other year audit for every year. That's not fair.
I believe 17 and 18 was a 2-year audit. And then it's been, and it was 19, I think since then it's been, or with 18, 19, 2-year audit, and then since then it's been a 1-year audit. Except for with 22, 23. They didn't have time to get our 22 audit last fall, so.
Cost of an audit, probably. Not very quick.
20,000?
The last audit, I know I got a call from Steve that, I mean, our office staff, especially Kelly, did an excellent job in the financial part. We were, you commended her to do the job she did, so I'm just wondering whether sometimes a person goes to a 1-year audit if there's been problems, even if you catch up. But if things have been pretty status quo and everything has been done the way it's supposed to be with these minor adjustments, then, looking at the 2-year audit, because you're still being audited, but yet, if we're, like I said, the last audit, for lack of a better word, staff was my color, there wasn't any red flags, it was just a minor little scratch, versus doing one every year.
And we can see how the next 2-year audit comes back too before we make a decision. But things are going through it and just kind of trying to get on the page of maybe trying to schedule that roughly the same time every year so they can pencil us in.
Yeah, we want to cover it.
Yeah, as long as we don't have any issues that pop up.
Yeah, we're hoping for an August timeline, so maybe by our next meeting we'll have that back.
Keeping it at 2 years.
So we schedule this, and we need more.
We don't know.
Okay.
I just wanted to ask, being here going through it and just trying to get it out there if we want to go to a 2-year audit or if there's 1 year, but we can see where we're at with when this one comes back. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Chelsea, for that report. 2025 prelim budget.
This is a very rough draft of what I sent you guys, but I wanted to give you guys some numbers, see kind of where we were sitting the last couple of years. I did include in the information, I did talk to Beth at the county, I don't know what any other cities are doing. Rebecca did get enough signatures for his property tax measure to hit the ballot in November. If that passes, that raises all property tax with what we levy for 2025. And that levy final budget has to be turned in. The prelim is due August 10th. We cannot increase the mill levy from when we turn it in. We can increase it. And October 10th is the final is due. So we are stuck with what we turn in, not knowing if the property tax measure will pass or not and what it will be fixed. That is something to consider. If there's any special requests, I can add them in. I do have to get the enterprise funds out to you guys. The general is more or less what we levy those, so I wanted to have a rough estimate of that. I'm still waiting on a couple other entities to give me their budget as well too, so I can factor them in. Typically those they just,
You said we'll probably have to have a special because
we will have to have a special meeting, yes. Our next commission meeting is August 12th. The prelim is due August 10th.
Thank you. School construction update. Did we receive the letter?
Yes, I printed that off to everybody. It said it's for all the chairs. It was from Dr. Penny.
But would you be nice enough to read it? Sophie? Would you like this one?
Okay. Good morning, Trustee. I hope you're having a good summer. Mark Brown called me asking to attend a meeting tonight, given school construction update. I explained to him that the school had its annual school board meeting tonight, so I wasn't able to attend. He asked if I would prepare an update, so here's the update. The building project of Washburn Public School District Number 4 is going forward with a multi-faceted project that includes demolition, renovation, and addition. The classroom addition is nearing completion, as is most of all the demolition work. The electrical transformers are being wired this week and next. Framers, roofers, and finishers of interiors are all here and working through their various scopes of work. Once the school project hits substantial completion status, we will host an open house for all patients to see the changes. On behalf of the school, we want to thank the residents of Washburn for their patience, as we sometimes interrupt the flow of traffic on 7th Street during this project. Dr. Penny Hilford, Superintendent.
I just got the commission and the public viewing this meeting. I want an update on what's going on up here. All right. Change order number 3. Good.
Good evening, everybody. I handed out, sent the packet of material that I need motions on tonight. But change order number 3, I guess to get that one on the agenda. This is the balancing change order for all the quantities for the 2023 project. There was an increase in the quantities to curb and gutter is the main increase in quantity. I think I handed you both copies, Mark, but they're on the back, on the next sheet to this. It shows all the quantities on the project. This sheet right here. Curb and gutter, there was more curb and gutter removed than was planned on the 2023 street utility project. So that's the main cause for the increase. There was a decrease in smallable curb and gutter, and then there was some other things like some additional driveway that was removed and replaced, and there are a couple other smaller items on there. Now that the project's been completed, all the quantities are tallied. That's how we balance everything at the end. So I guess if there are any questions on the balancing changes to the project. And if there's no questions, I'd recommend commission approval of the balancing change order.
I would so move.
Any more discussion? Roll call vote?
Yes.
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 And the next thing on there is the contractor pay application number 6. This is the final pay application for the 2022 project. The vast majority of this is the retainage that we held through the winter on the contractor. It's 10%, you might have been down to 5% retainage. The other smaller pieces of pay app 6 is the seeding that was done at the very end of the project. So, is there any questions on tab 6? No. And if there is no questions, I'd recommend commission approval in the amount of $104,641.
Make a motion to approve that. Second. Any more discussion? If not? Yes. Yes. Yes.
And then if you want to do it now or after the meeting's over, Mike, you can sign up both copies of them, and I can point to where they're at. One's right here. Or that's the amount. We can do it after we're done.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right, do you have any other updates?
I do. I have a lot. So I'll try to be brief as I can, but I also want to, since it's a new commission, allow time for you all to ask questions. If you have questions on anything, but I'm gonna try to run through a lot of the stuff that's been ongoing. There's a few new things on there as well, but I try to keep it into one page, so it's not a whole bunch, and I try to keep it as brief as I can. So the first thing I have on the update report is the Master Services Agreement. So the Master Services Agreement that AHWS has with the City of Washburn actually was done at the end of last year. And I know we have some projects that are coming up, so I wanted to make sure that the Master Services Agreement was up to date before we get into the next project that there may be. So this amendment, it's an amendment to the Master Service Agreement. It just extends the date to December 31st, 2026. That's the only thing to it. So, and I think I have the amendment. Did I give that to you too, Mark? Maybe I didn't. If I didn't, it's not in that pile, then I'll make sure I send it to Chelsea and she can get it to you, but,
So basically, this is your service is done.
yeah. So we have the Master Service Agreement, and what we do is we reference that. Yep, this is it right here. So it's just a one-pager right here, and it's just, all this says is we're extending the date on the Master Service Agreement. The Master Service Agreement expires after a certain amount of time. You guys sign an agreement for a certain amount of time, and this will just push that date another 2 years. So that's all it's doing. And I don't have the copy of the full Master Agreement for you, but if you, I'm sure that Chelsea probably does somewhere, but I can also provide that to you if that's something that you want to look at as well. But,
We need a motion.
yeah, so I'll need a motion right after one.
You want to make a motion?
Motion to accept.
Second. Any more discussion? Not hearing any, Miranda?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
So then going down through, the next item on my list there is the 2023 project. We already took care of the balance and changes and final pay application. The next bullet on there is, the BND, the Bank of North Dakota loan fund request number 7. So, the funding mechanism that we had in place for that project was a BND loan. And we have to, the commission has to ask for another draw on that to pay, and basically you're taking money off that loan to pay that pay application. So, I would recommend approval of the, BND loan fund request number 7, and that's also in your packet.
Like you did with that.
Yeah, it's like it is, it's the 7th one, and we only make a loan draw when we needed money, so that's what this is, and this will cover that final pay application that we just went over.
Also, is there anybody else want to see that?
You have questions?
I did. Maybe, just wondering about the warranty items and walkthrough. Did that get done?
Yep, I'm gonna get to that right after you guys look at this one.
Okay. Does the guy do that before you approve that, or maybe we put?
You can, yeah, so I can go to that.
Oh, wait,
Okay. Sorry about that. So warranty items and walkthrough. So, I had talked to Mark before the meeting a little bit about this. So we have a 1-year warranty period that started at the time was substantial completion. Substantial completion was last fall. So right now we're in the 1-year warranty period. So I know there's for sure one item that was brought to my attention where we have some vegetation that's right on the edge of the road on Jennifer Drive. So I've already let the contractor know about that. And I would ask the commission also if the public comes to them with information where they see defective work, this is the time that we want to get that work corrected. So is there anything else that you've seen, James?
Not that I've seen, I seen that on here, and I was just like, maybe we wanna talk to this about before we,
Currently, no, the loan drop won't make any difference on the warranty because we still have that 1-year warranty period per the contract. So that's not gonna, we're not like letting the contractor go or nothing like that. So, but that's a good point you brought it up because we want to make sure that we're getting all the warranty items listed and documented so I can give the contractor notice like, hey, these are things that you need to get fixed, and I want to be able to give them those items with a little bit of lead time before the end of the warranty as well. So
Do we have a certain deadline time, a date?
I'll have to go back and look at the substantial completion document. It's a document that we were assigned, but it was last fall. I don't have the exact date, but we do have a number of months.
First week of October. Because we're going to move it back. I want to.
Because we had all the rains and
Yeah.
stuff, we moved it to substantial completion.
Like the first week of October.
So, but I can confirm that for you.
Yeah, just so we don't.
And I would encourage if there's any items that anybody needs to communicate that to Adam and Chelsea and the city staff, and they'll let me know if there's something I'm not aware of. But I appreciate the ones that were shared.
So do we give them a report on the items now, and then as new things come up, then we...
Exactly, yeah, I would like to give them a list of things, like a complete list of things. I've already shared with them the one that I mentioned, but if there's anything else to compile, we had a chance to drive through the project a little bit, but if there's anything else that anybody needs, and I can meet up with Adam and his staff and whoever else would like to join to do a little more closer walkthrough if you want to do that.
So how do you present that to the contractor?
So it's written communication. Yep, it's documented written communication. Yep. It's usually via email. If I don't hear a response back from them, I'll follow up with a phone call. But typically contractors will respond and say, yep, we got your list. But it's done.
Okay.
but is there anything in substantial reports of anything major?
No, just that one area where the weeds were coming up, saw that last week, but otherwise, everything else looks pretty good. So far.
Maybe that one spot in the middle looks funny, but on that one road, I think it's just the way that it lays, so.
Just for the public, if they did have anything that they wanted to report on that project, the appropriate thing is that if I'm not mistaken, go to community, then go to air, and just make the contractor. That kind of. Yeah, I would say, if there's anybody from the public, they can reach out to any of the city staff, and let them know. I mean, any commissioner would be fine too, if somebody wants to let them know. I would just make sure, I would encourage you guys to make sure we're getting that passed along. So I get it, so I can tell the contractor. I was just trying to figure out the end goal of city. Yes, I typically in communication with Chelsea and Adam, pretty often, but I mean, you guys can call me anytime too. So that's completely up to you if you want to reach out to me as well.
Would the city's main go-to, you send Adam, because then it comes in through the office and...
Sure. Yeah, and then now those can be, I think it's the best way, is if you do like a picture too, to follow up so that they can see it. I guess if it's emailed to me, then it can be passed on to especially like you and Eric. Adam, I like to include on those too, so he knows what's going on if it were to come in email, but then if you just get commissioner, I would include you in that email to Eric as well. If there's pictures or if you need anything to that, it's helpful, so then they know exactly, they can look at it.
Need a motion, pretty sure. Or we need a motion,
For the loan draw, yep.
Yeah. So move. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Next thing I have on my list is the lead and copper revision rule, technical assistance. So, I know I've been talking about this for the last couple of meetings, but just to make sure everyone's up to speed on this, the federal government has pushed out a lead and copper rule revision that's gonna, update, enhance the lead and copper rule that was put out, in 1991. And we've been working on a few things with the state. So what AHUS does is we're one of the consultants that the state hired directly to do work with each community, each public water system, to provide Category 1 assistance. Category 1 assistance involves going out and doing an inventory of public water systems service lines. So we have to come up with a complete list of every public water system that we're contracted to help of all their service lines and provide it to the state. We have completed that initial list for Washburn. We, as part of that project, we did a survey, a public survey to gather more, as much as we could on the service line. So that's due to the state August 1st. That's going to put Washburn well ahead of schedule of the federal government's compliance date of October 16th, 2024. So, just wanted to give a little background on that. So, I have reached out, or I sent out at least a meeting invite. I haven't talked to Chelsea Lodge directly, or Adam, I don't think, but for the Category 1 Services Closeout meeting. And what I'm going to cover in that meeting is just like, hey, this is what we've got for you guys. We're going to submit this to the state for you, and this is what you should be on the watch for in the future. Because as we go forward, there's going to be other things that come out from the feds on the lead and copper stuff. So, now, again, to reiterate, the work that I do for this, and for the city of Washburn, that's a contract with the state. It's not anything that we are charging the city for. It's a contract directly with the state. So, but that meeting I set up is for 11 o'clock in the morning, Monday, July 22nd. So, week after this. Is there any questions on my copper stuff that you might have? I know it's a little bit ambiguous, but okay. Alright, lagoon project, I think many of you are aware already, but the drain contractor did do that work the 17th and 18th of June. Worked out pretty good. They're pretty good videos, but yeah, what we did this year, we had last dredge lagoon, I suppose it was at least 10 years ago, last time that we did lagoon. So it's definitely something that we had to get done. And the contractor that we hired from South Dakota, and they did an aeration type of method, I guess, was the music method to dredge the lagoon. And once they stirred up the lagoon, basically they pumped and sucked out all the extra sediment and put it into the standby lagoon that we have down there. It was worked out pretty good. So it was very affordable. And I would say much less invasive as like a mechanical digging would have been into the lagoon. So it worked out pretty good.
Yep, it is working great.
Yeah, I saw it on there, went down there and tested it today with Mark, so.
It was a 2.5 weeks and not a wipe on it, so.
And, the grinder is working good, the new grinder?
Not in yet.
Oh,
They're still putting me off on that, but
Okay.
I hope I can get
okay,
sometime this month, hopefully.
okay, that sounds good. But is the old one running?
Kinda.
It's kinda running, okay.
Half running. Yeah, so what it is.
I heard it going down there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I got a question on that. I don't know if this is a question for you, but that diagram that when it was put back in 15 isn't right. You know, it's not. It needs to be corrected. You know, somebody has to work on it.
you talking about the electrical diagram?
Yeah. The labels are wrong. The labels are wrong.
Okay.
And so go down there to do service on it. You got to, you know. So I mean, I don't know if that's something I can show you and see if that.
I can take a look at it with you.
New grinders going in, maybe it could be,
Is the diagram a plan sheet from when the channel grinder was put in originally?
yep.
Okay.
So,
I can look at it with you, and, let's, if you have time after the meeting, or we can schedule a time, we can look at it together, and then I think it would be the electrical engineer that would have put that plan together, and we can get it corrected.
that'd be nice if that was, you know, the scratch your head so much because, what the grinder was, it got labeled as the aerator, so if you're ever trying to work on it, you kinda gotta, look at that for a while, but they got it labeled wrong.
And I wasn't part of that project, but I do know that there was many alternates to what they were gonna do to get after that. So that could have been some explanation to it, but I'll get with you and we can get that corrected. Next thing I have on here is the PRV replacement project. So I know that back in March timeframe, I presented a cost estimate for doing that work, and I took a look at the PRV with Adam today, and just want to do a condition assessment on the vault, because what I would like to avoid, if possible, is replacing the actual vault for the PRV, because there's quite a bit more restoration work that has to happen. One of the PRVs is on 4th Avenue East, right in the middle of the road, and if we don't have to remove the vault, we're going to try not to do that. The other PRV is up by the old water tower, so, and that's, it's a manhole rather than a vault, a larger manhole, but it's in pretty decent condition, so I'm looking at that now, so I don't have any progress, but I think it would be much more affordable than what I had originally quoted you guys to replace the whole vault. If it doesn't make sense to replace the vault, we're not gonna replace it. But the valve needs to be replaced.
Just a quick explanation, the PRVs is what maintains your water pressure in your houses. So that way, they need to be changed out, so.
Yeah, and it's because we have two zones. We have a higher zone and a lower zone, just because of all the elevation change in the water current. So the interface between those two zones, the PRV function to maintain that. So,
And we're taking the old tower out.
Yep.
Yep. And that old tower is exactly that. It's old, and it's past its useful life. And I know that the recommendation from KLM, I think, was that you either need to replace it or just find another way to function without using that old tower.
That would have cost more money than
Yeah.
project.
We have the capacity.
Yeah. So that's all I have there. Moving on here, boat ramp slide area. Yep.
PRV will go in probably this year.
That's the plan. Yep. Because as far as the information that I have right now, those PRVs should be able to be supplied. Although I did find out that we have a little bit of a different situation than I had originally imagined on one of the PRVs, but just as to the size of the PRV.
Right.
So as long as it's not something that the valve should be able to be procured. That's what would throw us off, is that we can't get the equipment.
Yeah.
But I think that should be okay. I don't see any major issues there, but and if the price of the project's lower, that can make it go quicker as well. Because we wouldn't necessarily need to go out for bid to a bunch of contractors on that. If it's something that we can have a supplier maybe come in and install. Yep. So the boat ramp road slide area, I know that we've been discussing this for a while. I know the public noticed that the River Road has been moving a little bit. So we have looked at a couple different ways to go about it. And my recommendation was that we would have a geotechnical engineer look at that, potentially install some measurement equipment to see where the slide area is. When you have a riverbank sliding, like we have on River Road, it's not necessarily clear from the surface where the slide area is, how fast it's moving, if there's more than one slide area, and at what depth. So that's why I would say, we probably, if we're going to do something to fix it, we want to look at gathering more information. We have solicited proposals from Braun Intercept and Terracon. They're both geotechnical engineers, that would be capable of installing measurement equipment, see where that slide is occurring and how bad it is. I'm not saying that the commission needs to like take action on that right now, but maybe I could ask first, is there any questions that you guys have or concerns that you want to bring up on the slide area?
I got one. So I talked to the county to ask them what they've done with the slide areas. And what they've done is they removed the asphalt and then compacted gravel in there and see if it continues to slough.
Okay.
I mean, that's option and then see if it's anything to do with rainfall or underground streams or whatever.
Right.
You know, before we spend a lot of money on it and we find out it's just, you know, maybe asphalt wasn't the ideal product to put on that road because of the, you know, the condition of the underground. So, sure. So, I mean, that could be and then we, you know, we could put markers in there and see, you know, check the elevations and see if it's still moving or.
Yeah, and not taking action is definitely an option in this situation.
Yeah.
We have seen that it's moved over the last 4 or 5 years, a little bit more than what it probably has the 15, 20 years prior to that. And those that are in town every day would know better than me, but we have seen it move more in the last couple of years. So you could just continue to monitor it and see how it goes. That's
But the only thing is the water that runs over the road now, it falls into that crack and then it's just gonna undercut, right?
So, which crack are you talking about? The pipe crossing?
No,
Where is the crack on the road there?
yeah, where it's kind of
So,
falling
that's one of the things too. So, is there, you know, a spring that's further up the bank, where water's coming out? What's the source of the water that could be coming over the road? You know, this would be something we have to keep watching to see what happens there. Now, I have, besides getting quotes from some different geotechs, we've looked at different funding options that the city could do too if the city did want to take some action on it. I have a list on it of the DOT Special Road Fund Program. Is one option. I did reach out to the Army Corps of Engineers to ask them about, you know, funding that they might be able to provide for something like this. And what I got back from them was, if it's not affecting U.S. Army Corps of Engineers structures, like abutments or riprap or whatever, then I'm not saying that they say we don't care, but they getting funding from them is, if it's not something that's affecting their infrastructure, it's very difficult or very unlikely that you get funding. At least from the ones that I've talked to at the Corps since the last meeting when I.
So can we put some kind of riprap along the road and then backfill it with gravel? Just to help support that?
I mean, if you want to do some bank stabilization on the back side of the road, like between the road and the river, that's certainly something that could be done. You know, would that continue to move? That's possible. I would see it more as like adding a little bit of safety to the road of people that are traveling down it, because it is kind of getting to be much more steep than what it has been in the last, you know, couple of years. So
I think we have to put some kind of gravel or rock, something to support that slope and then backfill it with gravel or milling or whatever. So, instead of just watching it move, you know, and then get worse and worse.
yeah.
Not getting better.
Yep, I would say for sure continue to monitor. I wouldn't be a proponent of removing asphalt yet though. I would keep that in place as long as possible. But maybe off the edge if there's some material that could be added that could make the road a little bit safer, that'd be fine. Is there any questions anybody has on that?
Not an engineer at all. I was over there looking at it the other day too, and I mean, you look at that channel, it comes straight down, kind of right to if you look up where the stream is coming, or the channel's coming, it's going right towards that bank, but I don't know if that's completely in sync with it, but yeah, it's geographically kind of, you know, in line with the channel, but.
You're talking about the river channel? Yeah. I don't know that the river channel is affecting the riverbank up sliding down.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's where the geotechnical report, if they installed some equipment and took some measurements, and they would install it for a year and watch everything, they would be able to see if that would be the case. But I don't see the river, being way down there causing the movement way upstream. If it was like something where the water was hitting the shoreline, I could see that, but this is up from the shoreline, so.
Yeah.
But that's a good thought, I think.
Yeah, that's the only thing not
So, I think we'll table that we're not gonna have any action right now on that.
And that's fine, and we'll keep an eye on it, and we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
Alright, next thing we have on there is the 2025 street and drainage improvement, project. So this was a project that, the commission had a lot of interest in, getting after. This project involved, Heritage Heights area. So up in Heritage Heights, we have a number of roads that are in very, very bad condition. Custer Drive, Heritage Drive, Rough Riders, those are all in pretty rough state. So this project would get after replacing some of those roads, and it would improve the drainage. And apologize if you guys, some of you have seen this before, but this is a map of that area. And my goal tonight was just to show this commission this information and see if there's anything you guys want to give me for feedback, like let's keep moving forward on this, or no, or let's do we want to do something a little bit different, or do we want to look at a smaller piece of it? But you can see on the map there what we would like to do. There is a large amount of water that comes from the north of town. I'm just going to put this one here. I'll put this one right here. And I'll put this one over here. And again, some of you have seen this already, but some of you haven't. But what you see on the map is it's a delineation of the drainage area, and it shows how much water comes down to the rural road that's east-west on the far north there. I think it might be 38. Can't remember the exact street name, but there's the big curve on Rough Rider where it goes to the gravel. There's one site that crosses right there, and it's just a lot of water. And if you're going down that road, you can see where the ditch is cut between the homes there. There's a lot of water that goes through there that contributes to the flow that goes over land, across people's yards, and eventually down Custer. In the spring, there's a lot of runoff that happens when spring melt happens. You can see that road is flooded a lot. That's one of the reasons why those roads are in as bad shape as they are. There's a lot of water, and there's not the best drainage. And I think everyone in town probably knows that already, better than me, but just to show you the nuts and bolts behind it. So what we would do with this project, we would improve the drainage. We would channel that flow from that east to southwest. I got it on the other map here. And it would go into a pipe and bring it down Rough Rider, and it would eventually empty out where that area inlet is. That's bringing the water from the open field that's to the east. And then it would empty into an improved ditch that would carry that water out. And there's a number of crossings along the way on Rough Rider that would be improved where the culvert's just not big enough. So those are things we would get after with this project. We would replace the asphalt on Custer Drive and on Heritage Drive. And if it's wanting to be added, we could add Rough Rider. But it's already a pretty large project, so on the right side of the map you can see the improvements listed out on there as well. So I guess what I'm looking for is just commission feedback, and if this is something that the commission would want us to keep going down that path of making these improvements happen. This would be something that I would propose design this fall and winter and to construct next year.
Being new on the commission, I would have to look at it a little bit. You know, the first time I looked at it was today. So.
Yep. And like I said, that was my goal here today. With it being a new commission, I just wanted to make sure, see where the winds are going here and what you all wanted. And we have this information now, and we can keep talking about it as we go. But mainly, more so just to inform, I guess, at this point. But and if you, I know it's a lot of information. If you have questions, you can reach out to me anytime. I would say my contact information is on my report, but it's actually not. I can talk with you after the meeting and just make sure you guys have it. Actually, I have cards. So you can reach out to me. You know, I know some of you have my contact information already, but some of you don't. Some of you I know don't. So you have my name, but. Yeah.
Free helicopter ride?
I don't know if they would count that as a ticket, but yeah. So, if there's no questions with that, I'll move on. There are some funding options that I have on there too that we could discuss more, but just to make you aware of different options that there's out there for funding as well.
Is there any, deadlines that we need to be aware of?
No. There really isn't. At this point, like I said, I wanted to make sure this commission was aware of what we've discussed a lot over the past. This project's been looked at for a couple of years, and obviously with new commissioners, we want to make sure that everyone's up to speed. And I would encourage, if there's questions or discussion that you guys want to have, if you want to have a special meeting, I'd be okay with doing that too. But it would be good to if this is something the commission wants to do, the earlier that I can know that information, the better, because it's something we'd want to be ready to get done for construction next year, if possible. But I'm not saying that doesn't have to be the timeline either. I think that would be prudent, just the quicker the better.
Don't call you today next year.
Yeah, I wouldn't wait till then, yeah. And if it is something the city wants to do, the earlier we can get it out for bids, or the better options we have for getting out for bids, the better off we're going to be historically. If we can get first crack at contractors, then we're better off. Any other questions?
Nope.
Okay. This is the last item. I'm sorry it's taking me so long, but I just wanted to make sure I get you guys informed. There has been interest for a new development in Heritage Heights, Sibley Way, Sully Drive, and Morris Avenue. And I'll hand out this little map. This map is something that's been out there for quite a while. I know I've shared it with you guys before in the past, but this is the same thing. Because there has been interest years ago for this to happen, it just hasn't got to that point yet. We had a gentleman that came to the last meeting that said that he would like to build there. So, and there he is right there. I'm just gonna show that to you. So, what this would do is this would, we have a couple of dead ends, right, in a sewer. We would have to extend the sewer main in that area, and then we bring the water main around. You could dead end the water main. I would recommend that it be looped, and that's what we fill on there. And then you would have about 4 blocks of paving, I think it is, on there. So I also have some cost estimates for this, and this is for new construction. And the way I broke it down was, I would assume that if this is something the city would do, it would be special to those lots, right? So I broke out the cost for a water improvement district, a sewer improvement district, and a street improvement district. So that's on these pages. A lot of stuff, but I wanted to make sure that's what you guys. This first one here is the sanitary sewer improvement district. You're looking at about 615 feet of 8-inch sewer main that have to be installed, and other items with it. But that's the main cost, is the sewer main. Okay?
Can I ask what that's about?
Yep, so for the subtotal construction cost, it'd be $190,000 for all that sewer main.
That's sewer.
That's just sewer, yep. And that's for construction. The next piece of it would be, the street. For that, I'll pass that to you guys. And the big cost, obviously, for a street is new asphalt. This is, new construction, so we would have to grade the road out. We would have to, come up with a set of plans to determine what that final road grade would be. There'd be new, base and new asphalt that would be installed. Curb and gutter is not cheap either, so, this one gets pretty high, but it'd be $765,000 for the new street, in that area.
Is there a required number of bids that you have to submit out, or is this just one guy gets all the grades?
No, if this project would be done, it just really depends on how the city would decide to do the project. There's a number of ways that the city could go about this. And it's just to offer a quick explanation there. The city could take this on as their own project and assign specials to those lots. That's something the city could do. The city could also sell those lots and have, to a developer, and that developer could shoulder the cost of building the infrastructure. So that would be something that the city would definitely want to approve, how they're going about that, building that. There have to be some standards that would have to be followed, right? So I would definitely be involved if that's the way the city would want to do it, to make sure that, because at the end of the day, the city would inherit that infrastructure and they would have to maintain it. So that's just something to keep in mind. There's pluses and minuses to both of those. Right. So, and then the last one would be the water district. So you have water, sewer, and street, right?
So the total cost though is not 764,
No.
and then water.
Yeah, that would be the total cost. So there's on all these estimates, I have a contingency built.
Right.
And we do that with any project. Now, the contingency right now is set at 25% because we're early on in this. If this is something that the city would say, yeah, we're going to do this project ourselves, and if you guys would want me to do the plans and specs, once I get the final design and getting this project, well, my contingency is going to be knocked down to like that 10%. So that would decrease. So that brings the total construction cost, engineering, legal, and admin. That's also an estimate. If this is something a project the city would want to do, then I would go through, crunch all the numbers, and show you guys what our fee is. Yeah. So what you see there is the estimate. So
If or when, just throwing out there, if or when a guy is Custer, could a guy throw this on as an adder and try to save his money?
sure. That's something that we looked at doing before. The city's looked at doing is the Custer Drive project with this development. There definitely could be some savings there if you're bringing in one contractor to do all of it. You're going to see a real big project. The street drainage improvement project is already pretty big. Adding this on would I'm not saying it's not doable. You certainly could do that if you wanted to. Yeah.
You have the water district?
For the water district, construction costs, we're looking at about $300,000. And that includes, if you loop the water main, it's about 970 feet of water main. And water main is going for like $130 a foot right now, so it's just, the last 4 or 5 years, inflation's been really tough in construction. Contractors are hard to come by as well, so it's really increased costs quite a bit. Is there any construction or any questions you guys have on that? Nope. Okay. You bet. Sorry it took me so long. That's all I have for you. Unless you have questions, any questions?
Thank you. All right, portfolio, new business.
Nothing to report.
Employees union. Kevin, do you have anything since you have to?
Those guys do a ton of water and sewer, cool building, pretty much everything. I mean, sometimes they have something.
Sure.
Usually the time you get to the one.
Okay. The only thing I have for, buildings and grounds, since Adam is here, what's the status on the bathrooms at Riverside Park?
It should be up and running.
Okay.
Yeah, I was told that, Woman's was closed for some reason, I don't know why that is.
They were replacing the toilet,
Okay.
but is that, the park board said that that is their property now?
Yep.
How'd that come about? Well, it used to be.
When they looked at that, from the ballpark all the way around, the view was wrong. And it was actually park board property, not city property, right? So the park board said, so,
But I thought there's a platted road through there.
it's just like the easement on anything, but it's kinda half here and half there, so it's easy to do, so. You just have someone get the plumber, call me and ask me who we use for
Yeah.
plumbing. But,
I was just, yeah, when she told me that the park board took ownership, I just questioned it. I just wanted to hear from Adam a little bit.
Yep, we've been helping them though. They haven't closed for June pretty much. So we went down there and fixed them, so. The woman's bathroom toilet is cracked, and so that's why they're replacing it.
Yeah.
It was working, I don't know why they closed it, maybe they were just worried about it breaking, I don't know. But it was working. And the men did the old.
Can I talk to, on the fishing pier?
Yeah,
I think we could move that.
yep, Damon Fish, he's gonna be here this week and next week looking at the proposed place.
Yeah.
It's just downstream of, the current boat dock. But, that's gonna work maybe with the course, but we'll see how that goes. We'll get clean the fish's recommendations first, I guess.
Yep. That sounds good. And then that would give us a chance to work on that road
Yeah.
if we
Yep.
didn't get out of our way.
Yep.
That's all my questions.
Will that go in there, so we'll put that location?
We'll go in right away. There'll be a lot of work that needs to be done to get it done.
I do,
Probably not this year?
I don't know.
Okay.
It depends.
Yeah, we just have questions.
Honestly, it all depends on the core and what they want.
Okay.
From us, so.
I guess, I would like to see a porta potty put down there at the boat ramp.
Yeah, we talked about that today, actually,
Okay.
so we're gonna call them about that, tomorrow, I guess. But
Do we need to make a motion on that?
I don't think so, I think it's even a budget item, I think that has zero money taken out of it this year, so.
Yeah, there's nothing to out of there. I asked what really why there wasn't one down there, so.
Yeah, so we're gonna call them on that, so.
Okay, we're just looking at one.
Just one.
Yep.
It'll be in the usual spot.
All right, that sounds good. Okay, report from the city Christmas.
Just a reminder to everyone that the public hearing is tomorrow at 7 p.m. for the special assessment project. It will be at the Memorial Building, not here. That's at 7 p.m. Tim mentioned this earlier, there is still a library board vacancy. So if anybody's interested in serving on the library board, please submit a letter of interest. We are going through our audit currently. They are hoping to have that back in August. And I believe that's all I have for it.
I think it was maybe mentioned while I wasn't here, but we're using a new streaming, setup.
We had a little issue right at the beginning with the challenge, but it's fixed now, so if anybody has comments on it, when they see the video later or watch the live stream, let us know so we can make adjustments.
Live streams
on Facebook, and I think you post the videos to YouTube, is that where they go?
Yes, and then I also share them to, the City of Washington website.
Eric covered what we're doing, really great. We had, a company come in and do sludge measurements after that. They put the sludge in that, we'll call that number 1, at about 3 feet, and number 2, 1.5 feet, 2 feet, and number 3, about a foot, which is pretty good. I've got this whole report here. If you guys got questions, do you want me to go through the whole thing, or? No, okay. Then I'll just add, something that wasn't on there. KLM Engineering called me today about the, tower repairs and mixers that we have, previously approved some months ago, 3-4 months ago. They want to come in next week to do that work. Monday they're going to show up. We'll drain the tower on Tuesday and they'll start doing their work. Scott Marlin was here. Yep. I don't know if the last time the north tower was off, did you guys have a increase in pressure out on in your system? Do you remember?
There hasn't been a problem.
Okay. I let Aaron know, it shouldn't be that much of a difference, but,
What day is that gonna be?
we're draining it on Tuesday and the work takes about 3 or 4 days.
I think we'll be okay.
Yeah. But if we need to adjust something, just let us know if there's any pressure issues, on your guys' end. But otherwise, yeah. Does anybody have anything they want to talk about? Bill? Move to take bill. Second. Any more discussion?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Okay, next meeting is August 12th, 2024. In September, I'm gonna be out of town for that meeting. Is there any chance we could change the date, or are we set in stone in September?
Normally they're kept, and that's why you have like Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah, ninth? September 9th would be the meeting.
Somebody wants to know it? That's fine. All right, we want to make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor? Yes. Thank you, guys. Is, the city, Victor, is going to be at the meeting tomorrow night? I will be.
I won't be, we have a family together in the
Bring them upstairs. Probably not going to have that. Yeah, there will be, Eric will be here, but, his associate, for
Yeah.